Welcome to Webster Now with your host, Garrett Wagner.
Something happened in Webster this week. Not a headline, not a landslide, but something real. Whisper, a shift, a signal? Because in a town of 45,000 people, the race for our next town supervisor came down to 10 votes. That's insane. That's a dinner party. That's a half-empty Zumba class. That's the margin for who leads Webster going forward in a big, not small way. This wasn't just an election. It was a reminder, right? Your vote doesn't just count. It can literally decide what happens. And Webster, we weren't alone. We might have been close, but we weren't alone. All across Monroe County, longtime Republican-led towns flipped. Perrington, Penfield, Mendon, Rush, Greece. A town Republicans have led as long as people and I can remember. Voters across country said, we want something different. Not louder, not flashier, different than what's going on right now, especially nationally. They showed up and they changed the map in ways truly no one expected. And this wasn't just a Monroe County thing. Across the country, the results carried the same message. In New Jersey and Virginia, Democrats held on to and expanded governorships in the first major election since President Trump returned to the White House. In New York City, you probably heard the news, right? Voters chose the city's first Muslim mayor, Zohran Mamdani, a Democrat socialist, right? Running on a platform of affordability, accessibility, and change. In California, voters gave lawmakers a green light to redraw congressional maps that could shift the House races back to blue, right? This was a national moment. And on off-year elections like these, they're often a preview of what's coming, right? Not just in policy, but in energy and turnout. And who's paying attention? And what do we do with our voice and our vote that matters so much? Because off-year elections don't usually shake the ground, and this one did. And here in Webster, the change might have been quieter and closer, but it was just as powerful. Alex Sheldon leads by 10 votes in a race that, as of right now, is looking like it's going to go to a full recount, right? The town board has two new voices, myself and Nick Hunter, joining the table. The town justice seat, meanwhile, remains with the Republican candidate, Tom DeSalvo, who's done an amazing job serving Webster for so long. Tom, we appreciate your service. And to everyone who ran, my sincere thank you for your hard work and effort and commitment. Right? Nothing is uniquely hard and challenging as running for public office. Everyone who takes on this task deserves the credit. And especially to our outgoing town council people. We all know town supervisor Tom Flaherty and town board member Patty Cataldi weren't seeking re-election. But Ginny Wynn, longtime town councilwoman, friend of mine, and especially my daughters, I want to thank you for everything you've done to help Webster in your time on the board. Because this is about one party winning. It's about the makeup of our leadership reflecting more and different voices, right? It's a shift in balance, and it's proof that when we talk about turnout, engagement, or your voice, we're not being poetic. Sometimes we can be quite literal. And if you stayed home thinking your one vote wouldn't matter this week, your town proved you wrong. All right, next up, they need to count the absentee ballots, right? Those mail-in ballots. If after that, it's still within that margin for error, it'll go to a full manual recount of all the votes cast in Monroe County. Either way, this could take some time to count all those ballots, full recount or not, and then a certified election. So we'll stay tuned for those official results once they break. Early projections are it could be sometime November, maybe before Thanksgiving or even after into early December to have an official winner for the Webster Town Supervisor. And this means the story isn't over yet. And that uncertainty, that's not a failure of our system. That is the system taking time to make sure it is 100% right. And here's the part that matters most. This wasn't just a political moment. It was a civic one. The kind we don't get often, but we need more of. The moment we all looked at their community and said, I care to show up, to be heard, and to make it count. And that's why now, if it's okay, I want to speak not just as a host of this show, but as someone who is on the ballot. Because what comes next isn't about winning or losing. It's about what all of us do together. Change. It's not easy. In fact,
it might be one of the hardest things we ever do. That simple act of putting one foot in front of the other, again and again. It seems so simple, yet it's often the hardest part. Whether it's changing a habit, a belief, a relationship, God, we show it for our kids, right? Change has something very real of all of us. It asks us to grow, to take a step. And when it comes to changing our workplaces, our communities, or even the nation, that challenge, it only grows. But here's the truth, right? Every meaningful change begins with one person taking one small, intentional step. It's like dropping that pebble into a pond. That first ripple spreads outwards. Soon, others join in. The waves build, right? Momentum grows to something bigger. And that's how community change happens. It's amazing. And that's what I believe, right, this moment is about. Not change for its own sake, right? Not change in personalities or power. Not about the label of a party, right? Because that doesn't define our community. We do, right? As neighbors, friends, families. We define our community through our actions. When those actions are focused on purposeful, intentional change, man, that's when real progress begins, right? That's the exciting part. This is about making Webster a place worth living, right? Town motto, right there. Because our town board should be a partner, a servant to the people, not the other way around. Together, we can build a future that reflects who we are and what we love about this community that we're all a part of. And that means developing a truly comprehensive plan, one that lays out a vision for where we want to go, a plan, right, for how we get there, and the shared desire from all of us to follow it through. It means us protecting our open space, listening, God, deeply to our neighbors, and remembering that every decision we make touches real lives. Intentional change. That's our task going forward. And with your trust, your energy, and your voices, I believe we can all make it happen. To my daughter, my family, my friends, my community, and everyone on my team who works tirelessly behind the scenes to stay in step together every day. And especially, right, a massive thank you to Danny Davis for everything you do, right? Thank all of you for believing, for supporting, and walking this road with me. I'm honored. So come on, Webster, let's get to work together to build the Webster that we all believe in. So now I'm gonna ask you this. Are you ready to take one step towards a better Webster?
Thank you for that little unusual, unique sidebar. And we talked a lot about, and we'll talk more about intentional change. But what does that actually look like in practice? Well, sometimes it's as simple and as serious as deciding what to do with green space right across from the middle school on Publishing Parkway. And recently, I met with someone who, come on, needs no introductions, knows this issue better than anybody. I love how excited she gets for town code, Diana Davis of the Webster Open Space Committee. We talk about what's at stake, why it matters more than ever, and how every decision we make shapes the future of our town and what it looks like. So check it out.
All right, folks, we're back outside. If we're outside, we got Dana Davis, Webster Open Space Committee. And Dana, hopefully one of these times we'll talk about something more fun.
I know, I was going to say, if we're outside, it's not good news, people.
You know, at least last time we were at the Arboretum, it was beautiful.
It was.
Here, if you don't know where this is Hard Road. 104 is up that way. Willink and Schrader over there. This is what used to be open space, and it's recently gone into development. And Diana's been talking a lot about this with her group. We'll put a link to the video and we'll do a little clip as an intro to this. But Diana, like, what do people need to know about what's happening here and how this changes and impacts the Webster we're all going to live in?
So I think one of the biggest things is that this was one of the bigger woodlots left available in Webster, and as such, it should have been accorded a kind of special consideration and respect in terms of future land use in Webster, and that's something that ties directly into the comprehensive plan being updated. So I think what we had is inappropriate timing on this development. This shouldn't have happened while the comprehensive plan is getting updated.
So one of the things that we got to think about, what can we do as residents, besides just knowing about this and feeling frustrated, is ultimately how do we hold our elected officials more accountable? Right now, the comprehensive plan, the new one, is being created. So we'll continue to give you updates on that, but anytime you can get involved and go to one of the meetings and check it out, it's a great thing to do. Because a lot of times, the more people they see there,
Yeah.
the more they're going to feel like you care about what's going on.
Yeah.
So the current plan's being working on, and how is that? Is it taking any of this into consideration?
I mean, I have no idea. I'm not on the steering committee. I do know that a lot of the public feedback from this summer, as we said in a previous video, emphasized the desire to preserve green space and, particularly our woods, natural features, and developments shouldn't be clear cut, right? So, what we might see going forward is for developments like this, clear cuts aren't really an option. And so, with this particular development, they would have had to probably preserve more of the trees, which would have meant less square footage for their warehouses. So it would have forced them into a position of, is this an appropriate parcel for us? Rather than the town just kind of, whatever it is that you need, we want to do this for you and help you, disregarding the value of everything that's been taken away.
So with that, some people have suggested, hey, the plan's going on. We should have some kind of moratorium on building.
Yeah. Ginny Wynn actually suggested that. Shout out to Ginny. I think it's a great idea, and it's not unprecedented. This is actually a common thing that municipalities do when their current comprehensive plan is deemed to be out of date and they're no longer following it, which is evident by the fact that all of the initiatives pertaining to the office park, woods, and things were not taken into consideration with this development. You can say we're holding a moratorium on development while our comprehensive plan is getting updated.
So yeah, Ginny's been outspoken about her support for green space, which is great to see from an elected official and someone running again. What is your group going to do going forward, once the election is over with? What kind of advocacy are you going to focus on to help preserve the Webster that we want to see? Because I think an important thing that I've heard from a lot of the means of people, your group I've been to and people in Webster I've talked to, is like either they're from here or they moved here.
Yeah.
Because they love the open green space that Webster has, and they're sad about it going. So how do we kind of balance growth with the legacy we've had?
Well, I think a lot pertains to site development standards and the code itself in terms of what we can do for lot coverage maximums and specifying what goes on inside and outside of those to make sure that we have a maximum preservation of woodlot going on. We can do a lot with the code with that. I published a bit about that in the Herald. Lot coverage is one thing, as is strengthening our woodlot environmental protection overlay districts. Basically, we've got to protect our woodlots. The other thing the town can do, and I very much support this, is a referendum. So this is not purchasing every last bit of open space in Webster, but this is selecting different parcels that it would be good to preserve as forever wild in order to prevent total build out in strategic locations, right? And this is just letting the people vote, letting the people speak. The town has already bonded in the past couple of years tens of millions of dollars without a public vote for different things related to their infrastructure and the future of Webster going forward. And green space, a fraction of that amount for green space, that should be accorded the same principally value, okay? That should be accorded the same value, and people should be given the chance to vote for it.
Well, that's great. I appreciate the update as always. It's a little sad here seeing another big woodlot go down. But Webster, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated as we go, and kind of, as how you can get involved and what you can do, whether you agree with us or not, how you can stay informed.
Thanksgiving in Webster, right? Family, food, gratitude, and for some of us, a little bit of running action. That's right. Nothing says I'm thankful like waking up and a freezy Thursday morning to sprint 4.4 miles while dressed like a turkey. So welcome to the Webster Turkey Trot, a hometown tradition that's now older than disco, bell bottoms, and definitely me. Because this all started way back in 1972 when Jim May, Webster English teacher and cross-country coach, he was my cross-country coach when I ran, wanted his team to get a workout before their Thanksgiving dinner. It was simple. No shirts, no medals, just a few high school runners burn up pumpkin pie before it was even served. And that's why the race distances are kind of odd. That's just the distance these loops were. There was no intention of where it went. And fast forward 54 years, and this little coach's tradition, it's now one of the biggest events, not just in Webster, but the whole county. Turkey Day morning, rain, shine, or sometimes, and I remember those days, snow, and lots of it. Because I remember in high school, this race was maybe like 100 people, mainly the kids on the cross-country team, our families, friends, and alumni. And now it's grown to over 3,000, and that blows my mind. That's not a race. It's like a migration watching the start. And you've got two choices. Like I said, based on the loop from Webster Park, odd distance, the 2.5-mile fun run, or the 4.4-mile Trot of Champions, as it's now called. And don't worry, you don't have to be a former track star. You just have to show up with a bib, some energy, and a little love for your town and some festive fun. And no, you can't just hop in without registering. That's called banditing, and it could put the whole event at risk. And it's a no. Don't be that person. Be the person who registers and maybe even wears a festive turkey hat. So if you haven't signed up yet, come on. You got to do this at least once, if not multiple times. Registration fills up fast, and this year's turnout is already wild. And you don't want to be the only one still in pajamas when your neighbor's trying down Lake Road in full costume. Plus, parking's insane. Got to get there early. I still remember when this race grew and Coach May's wife made custom awards, right? Little turkey plate, little turkey medal. All right. Obviously, 3,000 people, these things are no longer practical to create. But hey, I've still got the memory. And is it sad that memory is on my work desk all those years later? I'll let you decide. Because this has grown to more than that. It's a shared tradition and a reminder that even on the business holiday, the community shows up together, has some fun, and gets a little exercise. And here's something I love about this tradition. It's not about running or racing or even turkey hats. It's about giving back. Because when you show up to your race packet pickup, you're encouraged to bring something with you, something that makes a real difference. It's the Hope House Food and Hygiene Drive, and it's simple. You drop off items during pickup. In return, you get a Fleet Feet mystery book, good for 10 to 50% off in-store items. But honestly, the real win here is helping people in our town who need it. We're talking about bacon items like flour, cake mix, staples, cooking oil, pasta sauce, canned goods, tuna, hygiene essentials, dish soap, laundry detergent, shampoo, deodorant, lotion. Because for a lot of people, these aren't luxuries, right? These are basics that they don't have. The kind of things that some of us, right, take for granted until we don't have them. So if you're already running the turkey trot, bring a can, bring a bottle, bring a box. It all adds up and it all matters. And beyond the trot, Webster's doing more than ever to make sure no one's left behind off this year's Thanksgiving table. So it's about where they can turn. Webster Community Chest, huge fan. They offer food, hygiene products, coat closet, even emergency financial assistance. Call or email them anytime. They were amazing. Webster Hope, clothing, hygiene kits, emergency help, open multiple days a week. Meals on Wheels, hot meal delivery for seniors, plus pet food for furry friends. Now, I got to love this one, right? Being Italian, lasagna love. You can literally request lasagna and neighbor will deliver it to your door. I mean, come on. That's peak Webster. Who doesn't want to be surprised with a plate of homemade lasagna? The Webster Public Library, yep. They do more than lend books. Free hygiene items and a food pantry right inside the door, and even access to daytime shelter. Parks and Rec, free lunches every weekday for folks 55 and older. Webster Baptist Church, St. Martin's, and United Church of Christ, all have 24/7 self-serve pantries. No appointment, no questions, just food when you need it. Phillips Village has a food pantry, serving residents directly to that community. And St. Martin's, yes, another one. Because this town does not play around when it comes to helping. So if you need help, take it. If you can give it, even if it's just one item, right? That's how we take care of each other. That's how we build a town we're proud to live in. And isn't that the whole point of Thanksgiving, of giving thanks? Right? It's not the perfectly golden turkey or the Pinterest level table settings, but the simple act of saying, you're seen, you're supported, you're part of this. So Webster, here we are, right? The votes are in. The ballots counted or nearly counted, and Webster stands at the edge of something new. Whether you're celebrating or still processing the outcome, one thing is undeniable. Webster, you showed up. Thousands of you, young, old, first-time voters, seasoned locals, made your voices heard. And that's the most important part. This isn't about who won and who didn't. This isn't about parties. It's about what do we do next? Because we have a chance now, maybe more than ever, to step forward together. Because this election wasn't just a political shift. It was a signal, right? It was a wake-up call, a clever whisper that said, we're ready for change. But not just any change. Not loud for the sake of being loud, change. Not change that swaps one sign for another on somebody's lawn. We're talking about intentional change, the kind you heard me speak about earlier. Change that starts so small, but moves with purpose. Like developing a real comprehensive plan for Webster and where we're going to go. Like listening, actually listening to one another, protecting our open spaces, or lifting each other up through food delivery services and giving back. So wherever you stood on election day and stand with us now, stand for purpose, stand for progress, for the first step and the next one after that. Change isn't something that happens to us. It's something we do intentionally. So I'll ask you again, not as host, not as a candidate, just as your neighbor. Are you ready to take one step towards a better Webster?
You've been watching Webster Now with Garrett Wagner. Join us next time for more local news and updates.